Hello, live from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. You're watching Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Iriwa, and today our focus will be on the southern region. But before we get into that, let's have a snippet of our top stories making the rounds at the moment. Gunmen have killed 9 soldiers and 1 police officer, along with some civilians, in an ambush at Giro Massa community in Shanga local government area of Kebbi State. The governor, Nasir Idris, confirmed the incident while speaking to journalists after visiting the mortuary and the accident and emergency unit of the Federal Teaching Hospital in Kebbi this morning, where victims were taken. The attack, which occurred on Tuesday night, also saw the assailants set ablaze 2 military gun trucks. Governor Idris described the attack as barbaric, with assurances that the state government would cover the medical bills of the injured and provide support to the families of the deceased security personnel.
What has happened has happened. It is a very unfortunate situation. You can see security that are supposed, not even supposed, security that are taking care of our people, guarding people so that the people of Kebbi State will sleep with their 2 eyes closed. Everybody knows that government of Kebbi State doesn't play with security issues. We were in Alwasa yesterday, and we have this incident yesterday. We are here, we have seen things by ourselves. And we have to direct the CMD of Federal Medical Center to ensure that those that are receiving treatment, they should make sure that they do the needful, and at the same time, those that lost their life. Government of Kebbi State will do everything possible to assist the family. It's a great loss. It is a very sad situation, but we have to accept what has happened in good faith.
The Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Samuel Ogboku, has charged key players in the public sector to invest in the Niger Delta to pave way for rapid economic growth of the region. Mr. Ogboku, who was speaking at the Niger Delta Business Roundtable in Port Harcourt, organized by the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Trade, Mines and Agriculture, insists that the region is peaceful and fertile for big-ticket investments. There was also a press conference organized by the Chamber for the inaugural edition of the Niger Delta Investment and Economic Summit, scheduled to hold also in Port Harcourt from May 19th to 26th this year, with President Bola Tinubu to flag off the event.
Of the Niger Delta region, captains of industry, representatives of state governments, officials of the NDDC and other policymakers are gathered in Port Harcourt for a business roundtable organized by the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Trade, Mines and Agriculture to discuss expectations for the inaugural edition of the Niger Delta Investment and Economic Summit. President Bola Tinubu will lead other dignitaries, including the Prime Minister of Barbados, to the Niger Delta Investment and Economic Summit.
How can we have practical solutions to regulatory and infrastructure issues, security and environment challenges? How can we explore ways to improve access to finance and support for medium-scale businesses, micro, small and medium enterprises? And of course, at the end of this meeting, we should be able to come out with actionable recommendations and partnerships for sustained regional economic growth.
The brain behind this project and the NDDC Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Ogboku, calls on the private sector to drive economic growth by investing in the region.
I'm using this opportunity, pleading with all of us to come back home and develop this region. Government alone will not do it. For us as NDDC, we realize that governance is not only construction of roads. Governance is not only building hospitals. Some of these things with proper government policies can also be done by private sector.
At a pre-summit press conference, Chairman of the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Trade, Mines and Agriculture says the summit holding from May the 19th to the 21st this year will unlock economic opportunities across the region.
This summit is not simply another gathering. It is a deliberate platform for investment mobilization, enterprise growth, industrial expansion, and regional coordination. This is our moment to move from discussion to delivery, from potential to productivity, and from a region known mainly for extraction to a region recognized for value creation, innovation, and shared prosperity.
The chairman of the summit's local organizing committee also outlined other economic benefits of the planned summit.
It will enhance increased investment inflows, economic diversification, job creation and youth empowerment through new investments and projects, improve infrastructure development, enhance business environment, promotion of innovation and technology, strengthen public-private partnership, increase regional competitiveness by positioning the Niger Delta as an investment destination.
With the theme driving investment, innovation and industrial growth in the Niger Delta, the summit will bring together investors, policymakers, development partners and industry leaders to provide practical insights and investment pathways in the oil-rich region.
The Cross River State Governor Basio II has taken a major step in empowering local entrepreneurs by disbursing 500 million naira in loans to support small and medium-scale businesses across the state. The disbursement, which took place during the Cross River State Business Community Engagement, aims to empower local entrepreneurs, strengthen small businesses, and boost household livelihoods across the state. The event highlights the administration's commitment to shifting focus from traditional economic indicators such as GDP to the human development.
The hall is packed with entrepreneurs, farmers and small business owners, reflecting a shared commitment to driving inclusive economic growth in Cross River State. This event marks a major milestone in Governor Basio II's People First agenda as the Cross River State Microfinance and Enterprise Development Agency, CRESMEDA, officially begins the disbursement of 500 million naira in business loans.
It is an important aspect of the state economy safety net, whereby the loan will be invested in income-generating activities. My administration strongly believes that when businesses are resilient against economic downturns through capitalization and recapitalization, household resiliency index is built. The primary purpose of government is to cater for the welfare of people, and the state government under my watch shall continue to initiate programs and projects with direct impact on our people.
The impact is already visible as over 2,500 residents have been trained at the Enterprise Development Center with 800 SMEs verified for financial backing.
I'd like to emphasize that this facility is not a grant, but it's a revolving loan. 5% interest rate is more like a 0% interest rate. But it's designed to sustain your vision, empower you, and strengthen your business.
Beyond the loans, the Commissioner for Finance notes that the government is providing a roadmap for farmers to ensure these funds are used effectively to scale agricultural operations sustainably.
We cannot be doing a revolution in cassava and then we do not have access to the market, which the special agro-processing zone that someone mentioned here, I think it was the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Cross Chamber of Commerce. The special agro-processing zone is something that is going to give our farmers leverage to have competitive prices relating to what the world offers. Because when the processing facility starts, we are going to be buying our raw produce at international rates. So this is part of what the government is going to do, the structure around farm produce, which of course we are dominant in Nigeria for. So this is a facility to help us grow. So let's not even call it a loan, it's a facilitation of our businesses.
By pairing cash with coaching, the state is building a self-sustaining economy one where citizens have the tools to thrive and contribute to the growth of Cross River State.
Now, residents of River State are expressing growing frustration over the persistent lack of electricity supply across the state, as many communities have been plunged into darkness for more than 2 weeks. The prolonged blackout has taken a heavy toll on daily life and economic activities, with businesses struggling to stay afloat amid rising petrol price.
Reliable electricity supply is undoubtedly essential for comfortable living and business growth. Unfortunately, the reverse has been the case in about 2 weeks in River State, including the capital, Port Harcourt, a major industrial hub in the country.
Let's look at light. The issue of light, you cannot be understated or overemphasized. Light is very important. I must tell you, for the past 1 month, we have never had light for up to 5 minutes. There was a time, that was 2 years ago, I stayed for over 1 year. There was no light for 1 day. No light for 1 day. So the issue of light is paramount.
The Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution PLC says in a statement that a drop in power supply is due to low generation caused by reduced gas supply to thermal power plants. As a result, businesses now depend heavily on petrol-powered generators, a costly alternative amid the recent rising fuel prices.
The fuel price now is really hurting us, especially with Babas that is burning fuel steady. From morning to night, they are burning fuel. So we don't really see our gain, because sometimes as this fuel got high like this now, we high our price, but from some customers, they could not even afford the price. Before we buy 500, but now we are buying 800, but not all can afford that 800, so we are still paying the 500, but it's still hurting us, we are still losing.
As the global rise in fuel prices continues, the chairman of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria in River State says his members are also feeling the pressure.
A capital set aside for a certain amount of product could no longer buy the same volume, so marketers are suffering a great deal at the moment. We as marketers, we work hand in hand with the government-owned refineries, especially the Port Harcourt refinery where I belong. But right now, the situation is not an encouraging one. So I would encourage the federal government to also support the private refineries so that they'll be able to work optimally for the production and distribution of petroleum products.
To cushion the ongoing hardship, the IPMAN chairman is calling on well-meaning individuals to support vulnerable persons, as his foundation is assisting the physically challenged and sponsoring 100 undergraduates in his Okrika ethnicity.
You're watching Newsroom series on Channels Television. Right after this break, we'll bring you more stories within the southern region. Stay with us.
Are you ready for the thrill, the grit, and the glory? Feel the energy.
This is where legends are born. Every game, every match, every moment.
Witness the passion.
From the court to the track, into the stadium, everywhere in between, we've got you covered.
Celebrate the journey.
It's not just sports, it's life in motion.
This is where every sport comes alive. Your all-access pass to the world of sports. At these times, only on Channels Television.
Welcome back. Persons with disabilities in Nigeria are calling for greater inclusion in the country's electoral process, urging authorities to provide adequate support and assistive tools to enable full participation. The call was made in Port Harcourt at a multi-stakeholder roundtable on inclusion organized by the Stakeholder Democracy Network with the aim of having minority voices heard in the state.
In Nigeria's evolving democratic space, conversations around inclusion are gaining renewed attention, especially for persons with disabilities, who say they are still faced with barriers in accessing the electoral process. Members of the Stakeholders Democracy Network put together this roundtable event to address these concerns and chart a way forward. The network's country director says persons with disabilities have diverse needs that must be addressed through deliberate policies.
River State, we often know that some places, some communities are very prone to violence. As a result of that, we find that persons with disabilities and women tend to be the victims on the front line of this violence. And honestly, this is something the security agencies need to do to ensure that there is protection of persons with disabilities specifically.
INEC is not unmindful about the issues raised. The Commission's head of voter education and publicity in Rivers State outlined steps taken by the Commission to improve accessibility.
INEC decided that for issues like those transfers, those loss of PVCs, corrections, and all of that, it is something that any person with disability can do from the comfort of your home. If you cannot do it, you will have a very close person, support system that can help you while you are seated at home. You don't have you don't need to go through the rigors of going through transport, looking for who will walk you to our centers.
Participants welcome alternative voting methods such as the toe voting. Nevertheless, they call for increased awareness and implementation of these methods.
The demands have to do with the role of the various agencies and parastatals and the effort they need to put, like INEC. One important aspect is assistive tools. We are talking, like one area we focused on this morning was on toe voting, and we got the commitment from INEC that those who cannot legitimately vote with their hands will be allowed to vote with their toes, and all other factors will apply as though they had voted with their hands.
This awareness includes an end to discrimination against physically challenged persons.
It is very, very pertinent for Rivers State House of Assembly to domesticate the 2018 Disability Act, to make it a Rivers State law, unlike the gender violence law, unlike every other law they have domesticated, the Child Rights Act. They should also domesticate the one that concerns persons with disability.
The roundtable ends with a renewed commitment from stakeholders, including INEC, the National Orientation Agency, and the Inter-Party Advisory Council, to build a more inclusive electoral system.
The Edo State government has emphasized the need to force strict adherence to project specifications for all ongoing road projects in the state, with Governor Monday Okwebolo warning contractors to comply with contract terms or face sanctions as the state seeks to ensure quality infrastructure development. The Special Advisor on Project Implementation and Monitoring, Fuebi Williams-Bello, reiterated the governor's stance during an inspection tour of projects in Edo South Senatorial District. The quarterly tour is part of efforts to monitor progress and ensure compliance with standards, particularly as the rainy season approaches. The inspection tour is expected to cover projects in Edo Central and Edo North Central districts as well.
Every project that has gotten up to binder level will be covering so that we can see up to the profile of the road. If your wearing is up to your 40 mm, if that's what is specified in the project, if your binder is up to 50 mm, and then we will also see the strata of your stone base if it's up to 150 mm. So if I am coring and after your binder I'm seeing laterite, definitely that means that project, there was no stone base on that project. And if we check your specification, and right now all our projects are stone base and it's not up to the 150 mm or 200 as specified in your contract, we'll ask you to clarify, and you will go back and redo that work at your own expense. And that is the position of His Excellency concerning all projects around the state. So I want to use this as a medium to let all contractors know that those contracts we have not got to payment, please do the right thing. We don't want to seem like we are wage unto contractors when we ask you to clarify and go back and do the work. So right now is for you to know that as we are coming for the quarterly inspection, we will be covering. So when you are doing your work, check your foreman, check that your equipment are properly positioned so that you won't be giving excuse that maybe well, your equipment had an failure or something and that part is skipped. We'll cut it and you have to go back and redo the work. If not, His Excellency will be keeping your payment. We won't pay you until you go back and do the right thing.
The inauguration of renewed Hope ambassadors across the 25 local government areas and 270 wards in Delta State has been held, with participants mandated to promote the achievements of the current administration at the grassroots. The event, which took place at the Dome Event Center in Asaba, drew a large and enthusiastic crowd, reflecting strong support for the initiative aimed at deepening community-level engagement. Former Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa expressed confidence that Nigeria is on the path of progress, noting that President Bola Tinubu is steering the country in the right direction. He urged the ambassadors to effectively communicate government policies and achievements, while Governor Sheriff Oborowere, represented by his deputy Monday Oyeme, called for sustained public support and patience as the administration continues to deliver dividends of democracy. The initiative is designed to strengthen grassroots mobilization and improve awareness of government programs across the state.
You cannot tell me that all those governors are short-sighted. They've seen the light and they have found out that Mr. President is leading this country in the right direction. There is no reason why we should not support Mr. President. We cannot allow people to take us back to Egypt. We have moved forward, and forward we must continue to move.
We must speak with one voice, share one message, and mobilize with one purpose. With the inauguration of the 25 local government ambassadors and 270 ward coordinators or ward ambassadors, we are establishing a network that is structured, accountable, and responsive. You are a vital link between this movement and our people. You are the heartbeat of the renewed hope at the grassroots. So to our ambassadors, your mandate is clear. Engage the people, listen to their concerns, and communicate our vision with clarity and conviction.
The chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, has commended the Bayelsa State government for what he describes as significant progress on the ongoing stadium projects in the state. Mr. Diko, who is in Bayelsa for the Nigeria Football Federation's Extraordinary General Assembly, conducted an on-the-site assessment of the facility currently under construction. After inspecting the project, he described the work done so far as solid, noting the technical complexity involved in laying the foundation, particularly given the terrain. He also revealed that Bayelsa State has been awarded the hosting rights for the 2028 National Sports Festival, a move he says is designed to accelerate the completion of the stadium. He also commended the state government for its commitment to delivering the project within the expected timeline, expressing confidence that the facility will meet national standards.
The vision of Mr. President is that every stadium in the country belongs to everybody. Because if this stadium is finished, It's not only Bayelsa people that will use it for sporting activities. Everybody in the country and abroad will come here and use it for sporting activities. So it's a national monument. And that's why we are at the opening, at the groundbreaking ceremony. We must congratulate the Governor Diri, for what he's doing here. Not just this one and the other stadium he's building. And we will keep working with him, encouraging him to make sure that he delivers this stadium as he promised before the end of his term, which I believe he will do it. Because the idea after this, there will be a city around here, and people will build houses, businesses, and everything. So all other economic activities will be activated. So it's quite brilliant, and we're quite excited. That's why I'm here, to see the progress of work. We have already awarded the National Sport Festival 2028 to Bayelsa State. We did that in order to drive the completion of this project, because that's the reason why we deliberately awarded the Sport Festival to Bayelsa State, because that is a motivation for the state and everybody involved to make sure this stadium is completed before that time, so that it will be used for the Sport Festival, and then it become a legacy for the state forever.
And that's where we drop the encore in this edition of Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Enjoy the rest of your day.